Okay, so you got some fish that aren't eating. Well, you've come to the right place. I'm going to show you my favorite recipe that has worked well for me in the past. But first things first, we got to address a few things on maybe why your fish aren't eating. Are they getting bullied by other fish? Are your parameters out of whack? Do you have high ammonia, high nitrates, something like that? So once you've ruled out all that, then we can kind of talk about food. Now, generally, fish will eat just about anything you throw in there, whether they're herbivore, carnivore, omnivore, really doesn't matter, right? But we do come across these really finicky fish every once in a while, and this has always worked well for me. First off, I'm going to start with some Repashy. I really like using the Repashy Spawn and Grow here, and the reason I like this stuff is because it's really high in protein, 45% protein. Now, if you've never tried just Repashy, give it a shot. This has worked wonders for me in the past, just feeding Repashy, but then I came across something in the reptile and kind of chicken community that I thought, you know what, I wonder if fish would like that. And let me tell you, they love it. And that is this stuff right here. As you can see, black soldier fly larva. Why do I love this stuff? Well, one, my fish love it. But two, if we take a look at the back here, one, again, we have really high protein. That's probably going to come in backwards, but 34% protein. And this big one right here, 32% fat. That is the crucial. Now, this also works really well for conditioning fish to spawn as well, right? We want to fatten them up. That fat, also fat is a great source of energy for fish. So if your fish are lethargic, feeding them something that's high in fat might put a little pep in their step. Now, this is not something you want to feed like every day. That's a lot of fat, but you know, once a week, once or twice a week, or if you have that fish that's just not eating, get them started on this and then slowly transition them off of it. So there's a few different ways to feed this to your fish. If your fish are large enough, then you can just toss it in. This is about how big they are here. All right. And remember, this is freeze dried, so this is going to float forever. And when I mean forever, I mean beyond forever. So just keep that in mind. But if you do have fish big enough to eat this whole, you can just feed it whole. I do not, so I'm going to place it in my little food processor here that I stole out of the kitchen. Don't say anything. We're gonna just mix it real quick. Should be good enough. And here you can get a good look at that. And I actually just have some already made up because I do feed this about once a week. So I'll just take it, dump it in there, and there you go. You got a nice fine powder. Again, freeze dried, so it's gonna float forever. This is where the Repashy comes into play. So we do a very scientific measurement here. Throw in some Repashy, throw in some soldier fly larva, maybe a little more Repashy. Now, if you smell this stuff, once it's grinded up like this, well, first of all, just out of the bag, but especially once you grind it up, you'll instantly know that fish will love this food based on how it smells, I'm telling you. Combine that with the smell of Repashy, and everyone in your house is just gonna love you. I didn't grab anything to mix it up with, so I'll just use my fingers, because why not? Now, of course, with Repashy, we gotta go boil some water. All right, so I got my pot of boiling water here, and again, this is a precise scientific measurement here. And to right about, say there. Get my fancy dancy stir stick here, stir it up. Now, this is also really good if you've had fish that have been sick and maybe even medicating and your fish have gone 2, 3, even 4 days without eating. This black soldier fly larva is amazing to give them when they're recovering. Again, super high in fat, which is exactly what they're gonna need if they've gone that long without eating. Now, if I'm feeding this to just plecos, which I do a lot, plecos love this stuff, then I won't blend it. I'll just put it in there, whole form, just like this, in the Repashy mix, and that'll give them something to rasp on. We know plecos love to rasp on things, so yeah, I won't blend it for them. And then for schooling fish, like my rainbows, tetras, rasboras, I'll feed it in just this powder form. Anything that's gonna eat off the top. Looking pretty good here. So now we wait. While we're waiting, let's just give some to the chickens out here. See what they think about this. Oh yeah. Dig in. Oh yeah. I also give this to my quail, but I do grind it up for the quail.
Nom 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 nom.
All right, so it's cured, ready, cut. We're gonna drop this in some tanks and see how they like it. All right, so there you go. Even with that sped up at 2x speed, you still can get an idea of how fast they just absolutely swarm this food. Again, it's Repashy Spawn and Grow with Grub Terra Black Soldier Fly larva. I've been getting them for quite some time from Grub Terra, and I've always been happy with them. It just so happens that they reached out to me and were like, hey, do you need anything? And I was like, yeah, send me a bag of Black Soldier Fly larva. And they're like, okay, and then they just sent me this gigantic freaking bag, but that's all right, because I've got chickens, I've got fish, I've got reptiles, birds, you name it. Chickens are birds, but whatever. I'm not sponsored by them, but they did send me that giant bag, so I really appreciate them for that. I'll leave a link down below if you want to try this yourself. Also, I'll leave a link for the Repashy down below as well. Now, I have tried this with mealworms as well, but honestly, if you're going to do mealworms, just do the Black Soldier Fly larva. They're way more nutritious, have way more calcium, just a lot better overall than mealworms. I do think hornworms would be pretty interesting to try, but I don't want to really grind them up. I don't think anyone's making freeze-dried hornworms, so chopping up some live hornworms in a blender, I don't know if I want to do that, but I think it would be interesting to try. They're very nutritious as well, a lot of fat. But if you have your own little special Repashy mix, let me know down below. I'm always interested in trying, well, actually, I think we're all interested in trying different stuff. I mean, it's fun, so it's fun to experiment. So let me know down below what you mix in with your Repashy. And thank you. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.